Did you know that 94% of seniors over 60 are still snacking on foods that silently push their blood sugar through the roof? The scary part is many of these snacks seem harmless, even healthy, but in reality, they're slowly wrecking your metabolism and increasing your risk of diabetes and heart disease. Today, let's uncover the 6 most common snacking mistakes older adults make. Hello everyone, my name is Matthew Miller. Welcome to Matthew Miller TV, the channel where we explore practical, science-backed ways to live longer, healthier, and happier lives. If you care about your health and well-being, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you'll never miss valuable insights designed to help you and your loved ones. To really understand why your blood sugar spikes, we need to start with the first mistake that almost every senior makes without realizing it. Mistake number 1. Relying on processed snacks like crackers and chips. Let's talk about one of the most common habits I see among older adults when it comes to snacking. Reaching for crackers, chips, or other packaged processed foods. At first glance, these snacks may seem harmless, especially the ones labeled low-fat or fat-free. Many seniors truly believe they are making a better choice by picking up a box of fat-free crackers instead of a bag of cookies. But here's the reality. These foods can be just as damaging, if not worse, for your blood sugar control. Take Margaret, for example. She's 67 years old and lives in Ohio. Every afternoon, around 3 p.m., she feels a dip in her energy. To keep herself going until dinner, she grabs a handful of healthy crackers or pretzels. Sometimes, she pairs them with a diet soda, believing that she's avoiding sugar. For years, she thought this was a smart choice after all. The package says baked, not fried or made with whole wheat. But last year, Margaret was shocked when her doctor told her that her blood sugar levels were creeping dangerously close to the pre-diabetes range. She couldn't understand how this was possible. She didn't eat candy or cake every day. So what went wrong? The answer lies in the way processed snacks affect the body. Most packaged crackers, pretzels, or chips are made from refined flour or white flour that has been stripped of its natural fiber and nutrients. Without fiber, these carbs are broken down almost instantly in the digestive system, flooding the bloodstream with glucose. That's why after eating them, you may feel a quick burst of energy followed by an inevitable crash. It's the same roller coaster effect that leaves you tired, hungry, and craving more snacks shortly after. And it's not just anecdotal. Research from the American Diabetes Association shows that older adults who frequently consume high glycemic index snacks like crackers, pretzels, and chips have a 35% higher risk of progressing from prediabetes to type 2 diabetes within just a few years. Even worse, these repeated spikes and crashes wear down your body's insulin response over time, making it harder for your system to manage blood sugar properly. So why do so many seniors still reach for these snacks every day? Part of it is habit. Crackers and chips have been marketed to us for decades as convenient, tasty, and even light foods. They're easy to grab, require no preparation, and are available in every grocery store or vending machine. For someone who has spent 40 years keeping a box of saltines in the pantry, breaking the habit feels almost impossible. There's also the comfort factor. These snacks are tied to family gatherings, quick lunches, or the simple pleasure of crunching on something salty while watching TV. But here's the truth. While they may comfort you emotionally, they silently harm your body physically. Besides spiking blood sugar, processed snacks are loaded with sodium and unhealthy oils. Too much sodium raises blood pressure, which is especially dangerous for people over 60 who may already be dealing with cardiovascular risks. And many brands use cheap vegetable oils high in omega-6 fatty acids, which promote inflammation in the body, a major driver of both diabetes and heart disease. Now, here's the good news. You don't have to give up snacking altogether. Snacking can actually be a great way to keep your energy steady and prevent overeating at mealtimes if you do it wisely. The key is to swap out those processed carbs for nutrient-dense, blood sugar-friendly alternatives. For instance, instead of a handful of crackers, try apple slices with almond butter. The fiber in the apple slows down sugar absorption, while the healthy fat and protein in almond butter helps stabilize your blood sugar. Another option is carrot sticks, with hummus to crunch is still there, but now you're getting fiber, vitamins, and plant-based protein. Or keep it really simple, a small handful of raw nuts like almonds or walnuts. These not only provide steady energy but also support heart health. Think of it this way. Every snack you choose is like casting a vote for your future health. Do you want to fuel your body in a way that keeps your blood sugar stable and your energy balanced? Or do you want to feed the cycle of spikes and crashes that slowly wear down your system? It may sound dramatic, but over the course of weeks, months, and years, these small choices truly add up. Margaret eventually made the switch. Instead of crackers, She now keeps small bags of baby carrots and single-serve packs of nuts in her kitchen. It took her a few weeks to adjust, but she was surprised by how much better she felt. Her energy no longer crashed in the afternoon, and at her next checkup, her blood sugar levels had stabilized. She even lost a few pounds without really trying, simply by swapping one habit for another. The takeaway here is simple but powerful. Processed snacks like crackers, chips, and pretzels may seem harmless, but they are a silent threat to your blood sugar and long-term health. You don't need to give up snacking, just make smarter choices. Reach for whole unprocessed foods that provide fiber, protein, and healthy fats, because at the end of the day, every bite you take either fuels your health or feeds the problem. And after 60, those choices matter more than ever. Mistake number 2. Reaching for healthy granola bars or cereal bars. Another very common mistake I see, especially among older adults who are trying to make better choices, is relying on granola bars or cereal bars. On the surface they look like the perfect snack, easy to carry, marketed as wholesome, sometimes even labeled with words like heart healthy or high in fiber. But here's the truth. Most of these bars are not much different from candy. Let's take a closer look. If you read the nutrition label, you'll often find a long list of added sugars, syrups, or artificial sweeteners. Many bars also contain refined grains and very little real fiber. What that means for your body is the same spike and crash blood sugar effect you'd get from a cookie. And when this happens day after day, your pancreas has to work overtime to produce insulin, which over time makes blood sugar harder to control. I can tell you how many times someone has said to me, "But I thought granola bars were good for me." And I understand why. Food companies have done an incredible job making these snacks look healthy. They might add a sprinkle of oats, a few nuts, or a bit of dried fruit, then wrap it all in chocolate or honey syrup. That doesn't make it a nutrient-dense snack, it just makes it a sugar-filled treat in disguise. Here's what is even trickier. Some bars are labeled low-fat or high-protein, but to make them taste appealing, they usually add even more sugar or artificial ingredients. For someone over 60, this combination is especially risky because it not only destabilizes blood sugar, but can also lead to weight gain around the midsection. One of the biggest risk factors for type 2 diabetes and heart disease. So what can you do instead? The solution is simple. If you like the convenience of a bar, make sure to choose one with very little added sugar, ideally less than 5 grams, at least 3 grams of fiber, and at least 5 grams of protein. Even better, prepare quick snacks at home that you can grab on the go. A small bag of mixed nuts, a hard-boiled egg, or some plain Greek yogurt with fresh berries can give you the same convenience without the sugar roller coaster. And I'll tell you something I've noticed. Once people make this switch, their cravings actually decrease. Why? Because when your body gets steady energy from real food, it doesn't scream for that next sugar hit. It's amazing how quickly the body responds when you give it what it truly needs. The key message here is this: not everything that looks healthy really is. Marketing can be misleading, and the best way to protect your blood sugar after 60 is to look beyond the label. Focus on whole, minimally processed foods whenever you can, and you'll notice the difference not just in your blood sugar numbers, but also in your daily energy and overall well-being. Mistake number 3. Snacking on flavored yogurts and light dairy products. Now, let us talk about another mistake that catches many older adults by surprise: flavored yogurts and so-called light dairy products. Many people reach for these because they've been told yogurt is good for digestion, or that light versions are healthier for weight management. And yes, plain yogurt can be a fantastic choice, but the flavored versions are often loaded with sugar, sometimes as much sugar as a dessert. When you peel back the label, you'll often find that a single serving cup of flavored yogurt contains 15 to 20 grams of added sugar. To put that in perspective, that's like eating 4 or 5 teaspoons of sugar in just one small snack. For someone over 60, that's a big problem, because the body becomes less efficient at processing sugar with age, instead of giving steady energy. These yogurts cause blood sugar spikes, followed by that familiar crash, leaving you tired, craving more food, and stressing your metabolism. The light versions are no better. Many of them cut fat but replace it with artificial sweeteners or thickeners. While they may have fewer calories, they trick your taste buds and digestive system. Artificial sweeteners, for example, can confuse your body's hunger signals, sometimes leading to overeating later in the day. For seniors, this pattern can make blood sugar swings even more unpredictable. I once had someone tell me that I thought yogurt was one of the healthiest snacks I could eat. And that's true if you go for the right kind. Plain Greek yogurt, for example, has much more protein, little to no added sugar, and helps keep you fuller for longer. Add some fresh fruit like blueberries or strawberries, and you've got natural sweetness, fiber, and antioxidants that work with your body, not against it. Here's the bottom line. Yogurt can either be a blood sugar-friendly snack or a hidden sugar trap. It all depends on the type you choose. After 60, when your metabolism naturally slows and your risk of type 2 diabetes increases, paying attention to these details makes a huge difference. Switching from flavored, sweetened yogurts to plain versions with real fruit is a small change that delivers big benefits not only for blood sugar but also for gut health and overall energy. So, next time you're at the grocery store, take a moment to compare labels. If the yogurt has more sugar than protein, it's not doing your body any favors. Go for plain high-protein options and dress them up naturally at home. Your blood sugar, your energy, and even your waistline will thank you. Mistake number 4. Reaching for crackers, chips, and low-fat snacks. Let's move on to another sneaky trap: crackers, chips, and those so-called low-fat snack packs. For many older adults, these foods feel safe. They're easy to chew, convenient, and often marketed as baked, multigrain, or heart-healthy. But here's the truth. Most of them are made with refined flour, loaded with sodium, and stripped of the nutrients your body truly needs. When you eat these kinds of snacks, your body quickly breaks down the refined carbs into sugar. This sends your blood sugar soaring and then crashing back down. Over time, that roller coaster effect wears out your metabolism and increases the risk of insulin resistance. Studies in the US have shown that seniors who regularly snack on refined carb products are significantly more likely to develop type 2 diabetes or struggle with weight gain. And don't be fooled by the low-fat or baked labels. These products often replace fat with extra starch, artificial flavorings, or preservatives to keep them tasty. The end result? You get something that doesn't satisfy your hunger, so you keep reaching for more. In fact, many seniors I've talked to say they can sit down with a small bag of crackers or chips and before they know it, the whole package is gone. That's not a lack of willpower, it's the way these foods are designed to keep you eating. Here's another issue: excess sodium. Many chips and crackers contain far more salt than your body needs, which can raise blood pressure and increase the risk of heart disease for people over 60 who are already more vulnerable to hypertension. This is a serious concern. Combine that with unstable blood sugar, and you've got a perfect storm for both heart and metabolic health. But here's the good news: there are plenty of satisfying, healthier alternatives. Instead of crackers, try raw veggie sticks with hummus or guacamole. If you're craving something crunchy, air-popped popcorn seasoned with a little olive oil and herbs can hit the spot without spiking your blood sugar. And if you want something portable, a handful of almonds or walnuts will give you protein, fiber, and healthy fats that keep you fuller for longer. One of the most powerful shifts you can make is simply trading processed, packaged snacks for whole food alternatives. You don't have to give up crunchy, savory treats. You just need to choose ones that actually nourish your body. This change may sound small, but for seniors, it can mean steadier energy, better blood sugar control, and reduced risk of chronic disease. So, the next time you think about grabbing a bag of chips or a box of crackers, pause for a second. Ask yourself, is this going to fuel my body or drain it? If the answer is the second, then it's time to switch to snacks that work with your body, not against it. Mistake number 5. Ignoring portion sizes with healthy snacks. One of the biggest misunderstandings I often see among older adults is this idea that if a snack is labeled as healthy, it's automatically safe to eat as much as you want. I can't tell you how many times people have told me, but I only snack on nuts, so I thought I was doing the right thing. Or, it's just granola, that's healthy, right? Now, don't get me wrong, foods like nuts, granola, dried fruit, or even whole grain crackers can absolutely be part of a healthy diet. But here's the catch. When it comes to blood sugar management, the size of your portion is just as important as the type of food you're eating. And many older adults, often without realizing it, are eating way more than their bodies can handle. Let's start with some numbers. According to the American Diabetes Association, about 37% of adults over 65 in the US have prediabetes, and one of the main drivers is excessive calorie and carb intake from seemingly good foods. For instance, a single handful of mixed nuts, about 1 ounce, has around 160 to 200 calories. That's fine if it's one serving, but many people grab 2, 3, even 4 handfuls while watching TV. Suddenly, that light snack has turned into 600 to 800 calories, with a lot of fat that, while healthy in moderation, can still lead to weight gain and insulin resistance if overdone. Dried fruit is another perfect example. A quarter cup of raisins, which is considered a serving, has about 25 grams of sugar. That's nearly the same as a candy bar. Now imagine pouring a full bowl of dried fruit or mixing it into granola. What started as a nutritious choice can end up spiking blood sugar just as much as the snacks we all know we should avoid. The problem isn't the food itself, it's the portion size. And this mistake is especially common among seniors. In fact, surveys show that more than 60% of adults over 60 admit they don't measure or track their snack portions, often because they assume healthy means unlimited. Let me share an example. I once met Carol, a 71-year-old retired teacher, who told me she prided herself on avoiding chips and cookies. Instead, she'd snack on trail mix every afternoon. But when we looked closer, we realized her small bowl of trail mix was closer to 3 servings. That meant she was eating nearly 600 calories and close to 40 grams of sugar every day without realizing it. Over time, she noticed her weight creeping up, and a doctor mentioned her fasting blood sugar was inching toward pre-diabetes. Carol was shocked because she truly thought she was making the right choice. So why does this happen so often? First, food marketing plays a big role. Packages labeled heart healthy, low fat or natural make us think the food is safe to eat without restraint. Second, habits formed over a lifetime are hard to break. Many people were never taught how much a true serving size really is. And finally, there's the psychological factor. Snacking can feel comforting, especially when you're alone or stressed. And it's easy to keep reaching into the bag without realizing how much you've eaten, but the consequences are real. Overeating even healthy snacks can cause frequent blood sugar spikes, which over time damage blood vessels, increase insulin resistance, and raise the risk of type 2 diabetes. For older adults, this not only affects energy levels and mood, but also increases the risk of heart disease, kidney problems, and nerve damage. Research has shown that seniors who consistently overconsume calorie-dense snacks, even healthy ones, tend to have higher body mass indexes and greater difficulty controlling blood sugar compared to those who practice mindful portion control. The good news is, this mistake is one of the easiest to fix with a few simple strategies. First, learn what a serving actually looks like. For nuts, it's about a small handful roughly the size of a golf ball. For dried fruit, it's about a quarter, which fits in the palm of your hand. Granola, just a half cup, is considered a serving, not a full bowl. I always suggest people use small containers or proportioned snacks ahead of time instead of eating straight from the bag. This alone makes a huge difference. Another helpful trick is to combine snacks with protein or fiber to slow down the absorption of sugar. Instead of eating dried fruit by itself, pair a small portion with plain Greek yogurt. If you like crackers, choose whole grain ones and add a slice of cheese or some hummus. This balance not only keeps your blood sugar steadier but also helps you feel satisfied longer. Finally, practice mindful eating. This means slowing down, eating without distractions like TV, and act. Mistake number 6. Snacking late at night. Let's talk about a habit that's more common than you might think, like night snacking. Many seniors tell me, I just get a little hungry before bed so I grab something small, it's no big deal. Right? But here's the truth. Eating late at night, especially the wrong types of snacks, can quietly wreak havoc on your blood sugar and your metabolism. In fact, research from the National Institute on Aging shows that nearly 45% of adults over 65 report regular late-night eating. And among those who snack before bed, more than half choose foods high in sugar or refined carbs, things like cookies, ice cream, chips, or leftover desserts. The problem is, your body doesn't process food the same way at 10 p.m. as it does at noon. At night, your metabolism slows, insulin sensitivity decreases, and your body is more likely to store those calories as fat rather than use them for energy. I remember talking with a gentleman named Robert, 72, who struggled with restless sleep and rising blood sugar levels. Every night he would grab a bowl of cereal before bed, thinking it was light and harmless. But when we looked closely, that bowl of cereal contained 40 grams of carbs and nearly 15 grams of sugar. Because he was eating it right before lying down, his blood sugar would spike and stay elevated for hours, leaving his body unable to properly rest or repair itself overnight. He felt groggy in the morning, and his fasting glucose levels were creeping higher and higher. So why does late-night snacking happen so often among older adults? There are a few reasons. First, many seniors don't eat balanced meals during the day, which leads to hunger late at night. Second, boredom or loneliness can drive the urge to snack, especially in the evening when things are quieter. And finally, it can simply become a habit, something that feels comforting or a part of a bedtime routine. The consequences, however, are significant. The studies have shown that people who regularly eat late at night have higher risks of obesity, type 2 diabetes, and cardiovascular disease. For seniors, this is especially dangerous because it compounds with other age-related challenges like slower metabolism and reduced physical activity. Blood sugar that stays high overnight damages blood vessels, increases inflammation, and disrupts sleep quality. Poor sleep itself then worsens insulin resistance, a vicious cycle that can be hard to break. Here's another layer. Your body has what's called a circadian rhythm, an internal clock that regulates many functions, including metabolism. Eating at times that are misaligned with this rhythm, like late at night, confuses your body and makes it harder to keep blood sugar in check. That's why even a small snack before bed, if it's high in carbs or sugar, we can have an outsized impact compared to the same food eaten earlier in the day. So what can you do to avoid this trap? The first step is to make sure your dinner's balanced and satisfying. A meal with protein, fiber, and healthy fats will keep you fuller for longer and reduce the chances of evening cravings. Think grilled salmon with vegetables and quinoa, or a hearty lentil soup with whole grain bread. If you do find yourself genuinely hungry before bed, choose smarter snacks that won't spike your blood sugar. A small piece of cheese with a few whole grain crackers, plain Greek yogurt with a couple of berries, or a handful of almonds are much better choices than cookies or cereal. These options provide protein and healthy fats that stabilize blood sugar and actually support better sleep. Another effective strategy is to set a kitchen curfew. For many of my patients, simply deciding that the kitchen closes at 8 p.m. helps break the habit of mindless late-night snacking. If you need something to do in the evening, replace the snacking routine with another calming habit: reading, a warm cup of herbal tea, or even light stretching before bed. Over time, your body adapts, and the urge to eat late fades away. Robert, the gentleman I mentioned earlier, made just a couple of these changes. He swapped his cereal for a small bowl of unsweetened Greek yogurt with a sprinkle of cinnamon and started having dinner a bit later to avoid that late-night hunger. Within a few weeks, his morning blood sugar levels improved, and he told me he woke up feeling more rested than he had in years. That's the power of aligning your eating habits with your body's natural rhythm. The key takeaway here is this: late-night snacking is not just a harmless indulgence. It can significantly disrupt blood sugar control, especially after 60. Seniors who cut out or replace those nighttime snacks with smarter choices often see improvements in energy, sleep, weight, and overall health. So, the message is simple. Give your body the overnight rest it needs. By closing the kitchen after dinner and choosing better options if you really must snack, you'll support stable blood sugar, protect your long-term health, and wake up with more energy to enjoy the day ahead. We've just gone through 6 of the most common mistakes that quietly weaken your blood sugar control after 60. To quickly recap: skipping breakfast or relying on processed foods, drinking too many sugary beverages, ignoring portion sizes, eating too few fiber-rich foods, relying on low-fat but high-sugar snacks, and late-night snacking. Each of these habits may seem small on their own, but together, they can create a serious impact on your metabolism, your energy, and your long-term health. The big message here is simple. Every choice you make around food matters. Even after 60, you still have the power to improve your health and protect your future. By replacing processed snacks with whole foods, drinking more water instead of soda, paying attention to portion sizes, and giving your body a chance to rest overnight, you can keep your blood sugar stable and support a stronger, healthier body. It's not about being perfect. It's about making consistent, mindful choices that add up over time. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these 6 mistakes do you recognize in your own life? Do you ever find yourself reaching for late-night snacks, or maybe relying on packaged diet foods without realizing how much sugar they contain? Share your experiences in the comments side. Read every single one, and your story might inspire someone else watching this video. And if you found today's conversation helpful, here's how you can support the channel and stay connected. Give this video a like. It really helps spread this message to more people. Leave a comment below. Share your thoughts, your habits, or even your favorite healthy snack idea. Share this video with a friend or a family member who might be struggling with blood sugar or who simply wants to age healthier. And of course, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our weekly health tips designed for seniors who want to stay strong, active, and independent. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Remember, health is not about quick fixes. It's about small, sustainable changes that keep you moving forward. Take control of your choices, protect your blood sugar, and give yourself the gift of energy and vitality for the years ahead. I truly appreciate you being part of this community. Until next time, stay well, take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.